What's the most profoundly beautiful piece of music you have ever listened to? Clair de Lune by Debussy is, without a doubt, the most beautiful thing I have heard. Lacrimosa. I believe it was the last of Mozart's compositions. He wrote it as he was dying, which is very evident in the Requiem. Mozart Requiem is an absolute masterpiece, and the Lacrimosa in particular never fails to bring me to tears. I can't imagine having music like that living inside your head and bringing it to fruition. Ada, if you enjoy the Lacrimosa, please add the second movement of Beethoven's 7th Symphony to your must-listen list. Simply amazing. The music living inside Mozart's head was so well formed that he was able to transcribe a song never heard outside of the Vatican after only hearing it twice. My absolute favorite figure of history in music. My now husband and I took a trip to Vienna last November and checked out Mozart's old apartment, so weird looking out of the windows and thinking about how a totally alien genius 250 years ago looked out of those same windows onto the same street and wrote some of his best compositions. That night we saw the entirety of Mozart's Requiem performed on a huge organ with a choir inside St. Stephen's Cathedral a few blocks away, and my guy proposed right after. As somber as Requiem is, I will always now associate it with that wonderfully unforgettable trip to Vienna, and looking out of Mozart's apartment at Domgasse. Nocturne Opus 9 No. 2. That is actually my favorite piece by Chopin. I can't hear Chopin without thinking of Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday saying, "You know, Frederick ducking Chopin?" Not into opera at all, but Nessun Dorma by Pavarotti makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. On the back of this I took my mom to see an open-air Philharmonic orchestra and it blew me away. If you've not seen one, trust me, go for it. I want to make this short, but a good friend of mine is a vocalist and he does Nessun Dorma very very well, but Teresa video of Pavarotti, he'll post the link of him singing. It's not long before his death. And he was very ill at the time, but he still pushed out a huge performance, and I believe when he hit that last note, right after he throws his arms up, and if you look at his face, that he is completely at peace. I'm on mobile and don't want to format it, but Teresa the link y'all. If you enjoy Pavarotti's Nessun Dorma, please check out Jonas Kaufmann's rendition. Teresa live one where he is surrounded by the orchestra on YouTube, they'll just link it, to hell with it. I'm an aspiring tenor opera vocalist and Kaufmann and Pavarotti are my big two inspiration. HQ Luciano Pavarotti, U2.BHQ Jonas Kaufmann, U2.B edit, added the high quality link for all y'all quality snobs. JK, I respect you edit too, it was 3 AM and I replaced the wrong link. Apologies. HD quality U2.B. Sea Shanty 2. Lo-fi sea shanties to study swashbuckle 2. Debussy's Deux Arabesques. Absolutely gorgeous piece of music. Yep. I love Clair de Lune and all, but the first time I heard the first arabesque, I just felt an overwhelming sense of peace and calm. It's a truly beautiful piece, and I hope to learn how to play it someday. Adagio for Strings. S. Barber. www.youtube.com watch. Viscuse 0L450 update. Thanks for all the comments. It's thrilling to know that so many appreciate this brilliance. I first heard it in the film, The Elephant Man, back in 1980. Has stayed with me for a lifetime. Eric Satie Gymnopty No. 1. Jupiter from the Planets by Holst genuinely makes me cry. I had the pleasure of playing Jupiter in my high school orchestra. It's one of the most magical memories I have of those 4 godforsaken years. I'm so jealous, I've always wanted to okay it. The top band at my old high school played it my junior year, but I didn't get into the top band until my senior year, so I just missed it. Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto 2. Yeah, that's practically orgasmic, and that's the video of it I like to watch with Anna Fedorova on piano. I like Olga Sheps too, but that Rachmaninoff is great. Since you've already picked that, I'll go with Beethoven's 7th, particularly this part. Little Wing. Shine On You Crazy Diamond, Pink Floyd. It was a farewell, an acknowledgement if you would, of their original guitarist Syd Barrett having quite literally lost himself to psychedelic drugs. He at 21 to 22 got famous and started taking shitloads of LSD, just all the time high as a kite. He stopped showing up to rehearsals, stopped contacting them, and it reached a point where they realized they needed to cut him out, as he was a decision maker in the group as well. The entire album is incredible, and I believe in its entirety a farewell to Barrett, but Shine On, parts 1 and 2, it's the first and last song, is just a beautiful, mostly instrumental lamentation of their lost friend, that they know they'll never get back. 3 guitar solos before a word is spoken. A tribute to a founding force. David Gilmour is a gem. Schubert's Unfinished Symphony. I was 14 and took an orchestra class to learn violin. I was required to go to a concert. At the time I was into angsty screamo. I can still vividly remember hearing that song live. The cellos are incredibly moving. The music transported me to a different place. I became obsessed with learning the violin and got quite good. I still play for my kids each night. The reason I decided to date my wife was she invited me to the opera. Most women I was going out with at the time were more into rock concerts, clubs, or going out shooting and rock climbing. We go to the opera about 4 times a year, not now with COVID, and while I still listen to plenty of other genres, I owe a lot to that incredible memory of Schubert's Unfinished Symphony. Shooting? Rock climbing? Opera? That all sounds like an amazing date. Rhapsody in Blue by Gershwin. I will never forget the first time I heard it. It just hit me as so deeply beautiful, and I really can't explain why. It is a masterpiece. Sigur Rós Svepke Englar. Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here. Sometimes in life we lose loved ones we just wish were here with us. There are so many Pink Floyd songs that work for this. I actually first heard Hey You in the movie The Squid and the Whale. It plays a part in the plot of the movie, that most people had not heard it, and a character played it as if it was original. Before the reveal I was reeling, like holy shit, they wrote this beautiful song for this throwaway scene in this movie. Nope. Pink Floyd wrote it decades earlier, because they kick ass. Frédéric Chopin, Prelude in E minor, Opus 28 No. 4. Piano Sonata No. 14 Moonlight Sonata, by Beethoven is the most beautiful piece of music I've ever heard. Every note feels like anguish. To me, I can feel a sense of hesitation between notes sometimes. I've always struggled with my inner self. Not knowing who I am, what I'm made to do, why I'm here, what makes me go, that sort of stuff. And I've never known how to communicate that to anyone. This piece by Beethoven felt like it was communicating to me. Like it was describing what I feel inside. I don't know. It's always spoke to me. And its raw emotion and the way it pokes at my soul is what I imagine true beauty really is. Death is the Road to Awe from the movie The Fountain. Hands down my favorite movie of all time. You might be the only person I've ever seen reference this movie on Reddit. That movie is criminally underrated. It's a wild flick, man, and the music is so amazing. The soundtrack is like the songs I want on my deathbed as I leave this earth. Exit music for a film, by Radiohead. Ducking masterpiece. I think How to Disappear Completely is their best work. Since this comment is getting somewhat popular, I'd like to point out the bass in this song. The way it pops in and out of existence like it's disappearing is the cherry on top. M83 Wait. This or M83 outro. Their entire vibe is beautiful. Honestly, and I have simple taste, the Jurassic Park theme by John Williams. No matter how many times I hear it, I get goosebumps. Pink Floyd, Great Gig in the Sky. I cry every damn time I listen to it. For me, the answer for Floyd is always Comfortably Numb. Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. It's so ducking sad and real and beautiful. It makes my grown-ass man self cry every time. For single movements, probably the Moldau by Smetana. For symphonies, Dvorak's New World. Nimrod from Elgar's Enigma Variations. It's one of my all-time favorite pieces of music. It is still Edvard Grieg's Morning Mood from the Peer Gynt Suite. I had that as a vinyl record when I was a kid, always liked it but didn't listen to it for years. Until in my 20s, my sister came to visit. It was a perfect summer morning and she found that in my old records and turned it on and the volume up. It's a wonderful piece and now always reminds me of that beautiful morning. www.youtube.com watch. VRHAGMVZPW0. God Only Knows by Brian Wilson, even though you've definitely been suggested it before. In My Life, Beatles. White Winter Hymnal, Fleet Foxes. Anytime I get new headphones, I play this song first.